Okay, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening session on product management. Right. So far, so good. We've had series of sessions starting from Ashley from Super Team. She took like two sessions, and then last week, Tine. Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago, yeah, she took something. She took life cycles, in the Web3 space. Then today we'll be having Yanu Ayo. I hope I got the name correct. Right. So she will be. Sorry, hold on, please. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So she will be taking, you know, Web3 product development lifecycle. Right. Chine's class the other time we learned go to practices, go to market strategies for Web3. How to launch and scale products. And she had, talked about the metrics to measure, the legal considerations, when you are employing go-to-market strategies, everything has laws, right? So you don't shoot yourself in the leg. And tonight, Iyanu will be talking about Web3 product development lifecycle, you know, from roadmap creation, agile and hybrid methodologies, the tools you should use, the metrics to use in analyzing them. So I'll implore you all to, pay attention to the class and you get to ask your questions where necessary. Right, so you don't miss out. Thank you so much, Ianu. You could get to introduce yourself now and feel free to help yourself as much as you can, please. Yeah, we're not stopping you. So um so she's a Web3 product manager. She owns a sorry, she's also a hairstylist. I remember reaching out to her and she told me she has bridal work and I was so amazed. Right. She's a hairstylist as well. And she's doing really well. So, Iyanu, over to you. Thank you so much for coming on board for this call. I really appreciate, and we really appreciate. The floor is yours, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening, Emediong. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm proud of everyone for deciding to learn product management and deciding to find another version of themselves. I say this because I'm actually meeting another version of myself today because I'm teaching today, and being introduced to learning a skill actually introduces you to the version of yourself that you can become after learning that skill. So congratulations in advance and well done. I would start sharing my screen now so I can begin the class. All right, so in about a minute I'll be able to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, my conceit.
All right, interesting. So today we are taking Web3 product development lifecycle. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So so far we have explored what a Web3 product manager does, how to develop product visions, and how to launch products in a decentralized ecosystem. Everything that I would say would be within the context of what a product manager does and how to apply this knowledge that you are gaining in the Web3 side. The core difference between Web3 and Web2 is the technical advancement. Your role as a product manager should not be limited to the kind of technology that you actually are influencing at a certain point in time. You have to understand how to work with technicals, how to work with normals as well. I say normals because Web 2 and everything that entails Web 2 can be normal. But when you are going to Web3, it becomes a bit more technical, especially when you have to learn how to interact with codes and also how to interact with data as well. So today we're discussing Web3 product lifecycle, or Web3 product development lifecycle rather. This topic is all about managing a Web3 product from beginning to end. Web3 development is transparent, community driven, and iterative. Iterative means that it is subject to further changes. Right now, we're even moving to Web 4.0 because everything is changing really, really, really fast. And I'm certain that in the characteristics, or rather qualities, of a product manager that have been discussed with you, I'm sure that the tutor would have informed you that you have to be very, very adept to change. You have to be easy. You have to be able to adapt easily rather. So the product development life cycle is a complete journey that a product takes from concept to building to launching and beyond. It includes everything from identifying users' needs, planning the features of the product, collaborating with the teams and the stakeholders, and launching the product. Even beyond, you have to consider gathering feedback and iterating over time. That means updating the product, removing some features that are not working after getting feedback from users, and also getting to launch new features as time goes on. The product development lifecycle is a complete journey that the product takes. So it's just like the full cycle, the full spectrum cycle of the lifespan of a product. Just the way humans have a lifespan, products also have a lifespan. So what we are discussing today is how products exist and how they are supposed to operate when they exist, like the protocols of existing, just like the way humans have to eat, the way they have to sleep. We're discussing how a product is supposed to work today and the role that the product manager has to play to make the product work. Can everybody still hear me? I would confirm from time to time so that I'll know if everyone is keyed to what I'm saying. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, ma, I can.
Okay, awesome. Going now. So I would go further to talk about the stages in the product development life cycle. So we have 6 stages. For me, I'm going to focus on 6 stages so that we can be very, very focused. If you check the web, you might see 4 stages, you might see 5 stages, some cases you might see 7, some cases you might see 8. But I want to focus on 6 stages because I believe that these 6 stages carry everything that has to be done along, and making it too lengthy would make it more difficult for you to memorize and even memorize well enough to practice. So the first stage of a product life cycle is ideation. Ideation is the core of what you would do as a product manager. The product manager is a a good idea generator. You are like the idea engine because you have to work on ideas per time, brainstorm ideas, create ideas, even silly ideas have to turn to gold at certain points in time. So the product manager is a gold mine for creating ideas, brainstorming, creating concepts, innovating. These are the things that a product manager does under ideation. So what happens in ideation is that an initial idea or problem is identified. Now, this includes community proposals and discussions in Web3, meaning that the community is asked via a certain system. So we see DAO votes or DAO votes. I like calling them DAO because it's an abbreviation. But you see DAO votes asking community members what they want based on a certain idea that they are getting feedback for. And you get people giving their comments based on discussions on Discord, on Twitter, even on Twitter, yes. So these are ways where product managers get information and enforce their ideas. So as the community gives them ideas, they discover the direct influence that the community has on them. And as the community also gives feedback on ideas that they are pushing out, they discover how much influence the ideas have on the community too. And this feedback has great influence on the product. Now, even if you are ideating as a product manager, if nobody can understand your idea, it is a problem, because you are not just creating for yourself or for the joy of, oh, I created this product. You want everyone to be able to say, oh, this is what I can do with this product, this is what this product can help me do, this is the problem that this product can solve for me. So it is more than just creating a good product. It has to be something that everyone wants to use, something relatable for everyone, something that solves a problem for everyone, or not even everyone, let's say majority of the audience that you are targeting. If you can solve that problem for majority of the audience that you are targeting, best believe that the rest would catch up. They will catch up definitely. But it has to be something that they understand, something that they want to pay for. Really, really important that it's something that they want to pay for and something they want to share with other people. So the key focus in ideation is community involvement via DAOs, Discords, Twitter polls, etc. In ideation, pain points and opportunities are identified and they are taken note of. So this leads us into establishing a long-term product vision, and reviewing the competitive landscape. Once ideation is done, we can move to the next part, which is planning. Now, the idea has been established, the idea has been tested. People have contributed to this idea, they have validated it. The next thing is to plan what you are going to do with this idea. So, in planning, the three key points I listed are strategy, roadmap, and resources. So, once the idea is solidified, the planning phase begins almost immediately. Now, I do not have a timeline for these things because sometimes ideas can take as early as 2 days, as late as years to actually get confirmed or to actually gain traction or even meaning. Some ideas that you have might not even be relevant at this point in time. They might be relevant in years to come. So this is why people are encouraged to jot down their ideas and document them, because they would actually still be useful. It might not be useful at this point in time, but later on they would definitely be useful. So moving on to planning. The planning is where the roadmap is created. Now, I know the word roadmap is fancy, but imagine a roadmap being, yes, let me use Google Maps. Let's say you're going to Lekki and you've never been there before, and you need directions to get there. Once you put the address on Google Maps gives you a very, very detailed step or very detailed steps on how to get to your location. Now, the roadmap is just like Google Maps giving you directions. The roadmap tells you your starting point, where you need to go to, what you need to do. Some roadmaps, some Google Maps even go as far as telling you how much you are going to spend in your boat or spend when you use public transport. Now, when you are planning, you would actually know what you need to spend, the kinds of resources that you need to get, the kind of people you will even work with. It's really, really crucial that you consider these things. So, a lot of attention will be paid to balancing community desires. That's because the community has already given you what they wanted, they have confirmed what they want to 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 you already. So now you have the key goal of balancing their desires with the technical feasibility of your project. You don't want to go outside the scope of your project. You don't want to bite more than you can chew, but you must also satisfy your target audience. So the roadmap outlines the features that must be developed for this product. What is the product going to have? How are you going to solve the problems for these people? Is it going to be via a link? Is it going to be on the web? Are we going to build an app? What do we need to do? The roadmap takes these details and helps you organize them for structure. The roadmap also defines milestones and sets timelines for delivery. By milestones, you can celebrate when your project hits a certain goal, and you can set the goals step by step. Now, if you have engaged with airdrops, you'd see that they have milestones like goals for quarter one, goals for quarter two, goals for quarter three. Milestones are just like that. You set goals that you want to achieve at a certain point in time so that everyone's focus on the team can be engaged. Now, timelines for delivery are really important so that things don't lag and things can go on according to plan, or even if not according to plan, close to the plan that you have for the product. So, moving forward, we would be talking about development. Now, this is where the technical work goes on, where you have to direct the developers, Web2 developers, Web3 developers, on how to integrate the features for the project. So, the development phase is the build phase, and this is where the actual coding takes place. So, development can follow agile methodologies, which I would explain later on, meaning that there will be continuous iterations, continuous changes, continuous edits, continuous updates, and feedback, as well as improvements on the project. In Web3, the development process it integrates smart contracts, and it integrates testing these smart contracts on test nets before developing them on the main net. I'm sure that everyone should actually have the definitions of these keywords in Web3. Or would you need me to explain what a smart contract is, or what a test net is, what a main net is? Or I want to believe that everyone knows what they are, so I'm not just speaking technical jargons.
Okay, well, you could just give like let's say a brief, very brief overview so that people that also watch the recording can also benefit. Yeah, so it won't look like it's so technical and all of that.
All right, no problem. So the easiest way I can explain a smart contract is it's a you can say it's a set of codes that a developer has worked on in Web3, or a Web3 developer has worked on to run by itself. So these codes have been set, they have been written, they have been programmed, and they can run by themselves to achieve a certain aim set by the Web3 developer. Now, test nets are test websites. You use testnets to test the project before launching them. This is why you see many Web3 projects reward their users for engaging on their testnets, because they're actually testing their websites or their projects for them before launch. The launched version of the testnet is called a mainnet. This is the main product. This is what they are actually building. After they've gotten feedback from the test nets, they use it to improve the main net. So the development phase actually involves using these smart contracts and testing these smart contracts on the test nets, then deploying the major main net. So we move to launch, which involves deployment, marketing, and gathering initial users of the project that you are building. So the launch phase introduces the product to the market. This is where the project goes live on the mainnet after rigorous testing on the testnet, just what I explained before. Now, launch strategies for your projects can include airdrops, exclusive releases, it can include community incentives to encourage early adoptions. Community incentives such as inviting people, giving a bonus for as much invitees that you can bring, or even giving your community members the opportunity to work on the team as influencers. You give them the opportunity to create content, etc. Now, these launch strategies, they encourage early adoption. They help you ease into the market and help users actually believe more in the project because they see you as a project that is accountable, or as a team that is accountable enough to release the product when you said you're going to release the product. So the launch phase, you gather real-time user data and feedback from actual interactions with the blockchain and feedback from users that have engaged with the testnet properly. So we now move on to the growth phase. And what happens here is that the product is live, and now your focus shifts from testing rigorously into scaling and growing the user base. Now the goal is to get more users, the goal is to reach more users, and the goal is to debug and solve problems for these users as time goes by, thereby focusing on building a thriving ecosystem. So this means that you are focused more on building strong partnerships, expanding your user base, marketing, organizing events, and every community driven approach for scaling your business, or scaling the project rather. So the last phase for the product development life cycle in context of Web3 is the feedback phase. So the feedback phase is an iterative phase. Yeah, user input is very important because you would require your users' inputs continuously at every point in time. You keep on collecting their insights, you keep on watching your metrics that you set so that you can understand how far the project is going. And then you also monitor their activity, you gather inputs from them to make improvements and adapt the product to what they need at certain points in time. So feedback is really important because your project should not be stuck at the point it started from. It has to grow, it has to advance, it has to expand, so you can keep your users and gather more users and make life easier for them, so that you can also solve the problem that the project was created to solve. And now, moving on from the stages of the product development life cycle, I would be speaking about agile and hybrid methodologies in Web3. So I I designed an agile workflow process, and it starts from ideation to inception to iteration, release, production, and retirement. So, what does agile mean? Agile means short sprints, regular check ins, and fast iteration. So, a sprint is a timeline. A sprint in agile means a timeline. So when we say short sprints, it means short timelines, regular check-ins, and faster iteration. Iteration, like I said, means changes, developments, fast changes and developments. So this works in Web3, but in Web3, hybrid approaches are usually applied, and this is so that they can account for many things and they can be transparent to their community, because community is a big part of Web3. So this is how agile works. Agile is, can you hear me?
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I'm so sorry to cut you short, please.
Okay.
The attendance is on the call chart. Please fill it. Thank you. Like the participants should fill it. That's what I mean.
Okay. Okay, I'll continue now. So agile is a popular software development methodology that emphasizes iterative progress, flexibility, and customer collaboration. So in Web3, we are just agile to accommodate decentralized technology. We accommodate agile to accommodate community driven aspects of blockchain projects. So key elements of agile in Web3 include short iterations, as short sprints. So agile sprints are typically 1 to 2 weeks long. Like I said, it's very short so that it can make more room for changes. Now, during this time, specific features and improvements are developed and tested. In Web3, each sprint might focus on building or improving specific smart contracts or decentralized application features for the projects. Second key element in Agile is continuous feedback. So in Agile, feedback is really important because the sprints are short, and getting feedback enhances and informs the direction of the project. Developers in Agile, they make real-time adjustments based on the feedback from users and data that they are given from the project or product. Now, the third key element in Agile is flexibility and change. Agile is very much open and susceptible to flexibility and change rapidly based on feedback, based on market changes, and every other unforeseen circumstance. So, Agile's flexibility is a good fit for the fast paced world and evolving nature of Web3 projects. Agile also enhances collaboration amongst teams or across teams. So in Agile, we have stand-up meetings or daily stand-up meetings in projects. So this means that every day for 5 to 15 minutes, there has to be meetings between everyone on the team. So everyone quickly discusses what they are doing, how they are moving forward on the project, what they need to get done, and what is dragging them back. So by the time they do this for 1 to 2 weeks, they are able to work together rapidly, because when there is much accountability, the first day you're accountable for what you did, the next day you have something to run with. So repeatedly, everyone has something to work with, everyone has feedback to give for these 2 weeks. So, and by the time the 2 weeks end or the 1 week ends, it gives everyone foresight on what to do better, what to stop doing, and what to start doing. Right. So hybrid methodology now combines aspects of agile with additional considerations to certain Web3 structures. So hybrid here means that we take the community driven decision approaches from Web3, the on-chain development methods of managing Web3 projects, and Web3 governance structures. So governance here means decision making. I'm using decision making by community members in context. So it means that we take these factors and we use agile methodology with them to make it hybrid. So The hybrid methods, it incorporates the structured process of agile sprints and DAO proposals, community voting. So key elements of hybrid methodology in Web3 means that we have agile sprints and governance cycles. So it means that agile sprints are used for development, but the government cycles like community voting and DAO proposals determine which features or upgrades would be prioritized. Like I said, community is very, very, very important in Web3 because Web3 is really big on community. So agile sprints would be used, but the governance cycles will actually determine what features are being developed in the sprints, or what features are talked about, what needs to be worked on. Governance here would influence the prioritization of the task and would determine how fast, how slow the sprint has to be completed. Another key feature is community proposals and feedback. So instead of solely relying on an internal product team to determine the roadmap or define the roadmap, the community is actively involved in suggesting and voting on proposals. So the feedback gotten from the community is what will determine how the roadmap would be designed. Usually in Web 2, the team is solely in charge of creating the roadmap entirely, but here in Web3, where the community is really important, the community would actually give feedback on the roadmap, and the team will take it into consideration and work on it even more crucially than it would have been done in Web2. So this helps create a transparent feedback loop where the community shapes the direction of the product or project in real time. So the third key feature of the hybrid methodology is tokenomics integration. So yeah, tokenomics is a core element in development of the features of the product. So staking, liquidity mining, governance tokens or rewards are integrated in the development plans so as to maintain user engagement. So token holders may have more voting power than other community members, and this is to influence feature development and to influence product direction, and also so that they can get more community feedback, more community engagement as well. This also it also encourages phase rollout means that they release the feature in phases so as to keep their users engaged instead of releasing it in a single launch. So I hope everyone understands what I've explained so far. Do you have any questions you would need me to answer so I can maybe take a break and explain to you, or should I continue? Okay, I did not get any response, so should I continue? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Agile and hybrid methodologies in Web3 are used to drive community driven development, to drive iterative improvements, to encourage decentralized governance, transparency, and accountability, and to also make sure that the principles of Web3 are respected. A core principle of Web3 is decentralization and community engagement. So a very great example of how agile and hybrid works together is a team using sprints, a 1 to 2 week sprint to develop features of a project like liquidity pools and staking and creating a reward mechanism for token holders. Then the hybrid methodology helps by ensuring that the community votes on which features to prioritize next through a DAO proposal, and the feedback from the users determine the direction of future features of the project. So this helps the team get clarity on what their users actually want in real time, which is faster. So I've been able to walk you through the importance of agile and how important it is to use the hybrid methodology in building Web3 products. I would move on to roadmap creation and how you can balance community and technical priorities. So, like I said before, that a roadmap is just like having your Google map direct you when you are trying to figure out how to get to a new location. So in Web3, a roadmap is your source of truth, it's your source of direction, it's your source of clarity, because you have to be able to provide structure to what you are doing, to your teammates. You have to be accountable, you have to provide structure for them, you have to help them understand what to do at certain points in time, the resources you need to build. All these things the are what the roadmap entails. They are the things that the roadmap carries for you. When you have a sprint in agile, you actually need to use the roadmap to track that sprint, so you know what everybody on the team is doing. What is the developer doing today? What is the product designer doing today? What am I doing as the product manager today? What am I working on? What do I need to do for the team? What is my stakeholder going to do? So stakeholders here means the owner of the project. Sometimes the product manager will not even be the owner of the project. Even in most cases, you are actually managing the product on behalf of somebody, or managing the project on behalf of somebody. So what do your stakeholders want? What does the CEO need you to do? What does the CIO require from you? What does the CFO need you to do? So CIO means Chief Investment Officer, CFO means Chief Finance Officer. So these people very important are very important as stakeholders of a project. And at certain points in time, you will get KPIs on how they need you to function. So you have to actually meet these KPIs. The roadmap is your direct source of reference on how you plan to hit these KPIs and how you plan to carry your team along, because the success of every product manager is how much they can carry their team along to achieve a goal at a defined point in time. Really, really important that you can define a certain timeline and meet up with it, and also carry your team along as well. So the roadmap is the roadmap is a key aspect of product management, especially in Web3 projects. It is where decentralized governance and community feedback play an integral role. It is also where the intuition of the product manager comes to play. It means that the product manager's wisdom, the product manager's skill is tested, it is evaluated in the quality of the roadmap that they create. So the roadmap is your strategic plan. It aligns the technical development of the project with the needs and expectations of the community. This also helps you ensure that and the project or the product that you are building remains feasible and scalable from a technical perspective. So you have to understand your roadmap when you are building it, because it's a visual representation of everything that you need to do: your timeline, the vision, the planned features, the improvements, and the milestones that will be achieved over a certain period of time. Milestones that can be time based, in quarters, it can be in weeks, it can be in months. So I'm going to speak about key elements of a roadmap. The first element of a roadmap should be the community priorities in Web3. Since community plays a very vital role in shaping the direction of a project, we would need to analyze the needs, preferences, and feedback of the community, because the roadmap takes account of the voices of the community members, the token holders, and governance participants, since they influence the direction of the features that will be rolled out, of the updates and releases that would be worked on. Now, technical priorities are also going to be considered. So, development of smart contracts, blockchain integration, security audits and infrastructure improvements, tokenomics, and everything necessary to ensure that the project scales, and that it is technically sound, secure, and scalable. Third, we must learn how to balance community and technical needs in building the roadmap. To create a balanced roadmap, you have to understand how to harmonize the community's desires with the technical requirements. It's a delicate balance because you want the product to be functional, and you also want to meet the needs of the consumer at the same point in time, or the needs of the user. So you have to actually ensure that you are giving consideration to the community, but you are also maintaining the technical integrity of the project, because the project has to grow sustainably. Because if it doesn't grow sustainably, the same users giving you feedback would actually come back to critique the product, critique the team, and the product manager would actually have to answer for that, because you are the glue that holds everything together. You are responsible for how everyone functions indirectly on the team. So when something doesn't go well, the product manager is the one who answers on behalf of everyone. You are an entrepreneur on the team. So you would actually have to give account for what is going well, what is not going well, and how things can be done better. So approaches to balancing community and technical priorities in road mapping. First approach is to use data and metrics. Use data and metrics. It's very, very important that you are data driven. Do not speculate. Do not speculate. It's very important that you do not speculate. So this is what I intend to explain when I'm saying do not speculate. If you don't have facts, if you don't have proof for something that you need to get done, don't do it. Don't just do it off your head, or don't just do it based on faith or based on belief. Right? You have to have tangible data for what you plan to do. So Web3 projects are heavily reliant on on-chain data such as total value logged, wallet security, or what rather wallet activity, transaction frequency. You can see that Binance gives data openly. Um you check these Web3 apps and you can find data easily. Now, these are the kind of data that you're supposed to interact with. You don't just work on data off your head. You have to actually understand what you are dealing with, so you can make important decisions informed, not out of information or just guesswork. It's really, really important that you understand what you are doing. You don't build you don't build the product out of sentiments. You don't build it out of speculation. So these metrics will help you prioritize features that matter the most to the community and ensure that they are aligned with technical capabilities. So next, you have to be someone who is open to collaborative decision making. So collaborative decision making from your teammates, collaborative decision making from community votes are very important for balancing priorities in your role as a product manager on the team. This also ensures that the product development is not solely determined or dictated by you. You are the product manager, not a dictator. So you have to understand how to work with the community and how to work with your team. Next, iterative development helps. Web3 products they thrive in an environment that is subject to change and very open to change. So it means that your roadmap is dynamic and it can change at any point in time through the product life cycle. At any point in time, goals can change, needs of the users can change, and you would need to work on it Another way that you can balance this is to have prioritization frameworks. Now, prioritization frameworks such as RICE, which is reach, impact, confidence, and effort, or the Moscow prioritization framework, which is must, should, could, won't, they would actually help you make transparent decisions about which features should be prioritized based on their importance at certain points in time. You have to determine how many users will benefit from the feature, the potential impact of this feature on the growth of the product that you are working on, and how capable your team is to implement that feature at that point in time. Another thing to consider is the effort required to implement the feature. If the effort implement to launch that feature is too much, you might as well drop it if it's not so important, right? So I'm going to walk you through very important tools on roadmap creation. At the end of the class, I want you to explore creating a roadmap by yourself. For Agile, Jira is very well known to create roadmaps. So I want you to explore creating a roadmap with Jira. Another tool that is very simple to use is Notion or Trello. Very important that you understand how to work with Notion or Trello because they are even very user friendly. So I want you to explore creating a roadmap with Jira, creating a roadmap with Notion, and creating a roadmap with Trello at the end of this class so that you would be able to understand how to work on building roadmaps for projects. So just play around with these tools. Imagine that you are building a project, write maybe a sample of what the project is about, and just be imaginative. Think of how the developer is going to work on it. Think of what the product designer needs to get done. Think of every other teammate you have. What does the CEO need you to do? And just break down these steps into sprints. So once you get it done, I would love to take a look so I can give corrections and guidelines as well. So I would go further to explaining stakeholder collaboration in Web3 product development. Like I said, that your stakeholders are people that you work with when you are creating a project. They are people that you collaborate with, people that you answer to. Stakeholder collaboration involves engaging with and aligning with various parties that have a vested interest in the Web3 product that you are working on or that you have been assigned to work on. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so the stakeholders here, they involve the designers, developers, they involve the community, the token holders, the governance participants, the investors, and even the owners of these of the product. I wanted to say product and project at the same time. So they involve the owners of the product that you are working on. The concept of stakeholder collaboration emphasizes communication, alignment, and transparency. So Web3 products, they rely on a broader range of input and decision making than traditional Web2 projects, because collaboration in Web3 is not just from the PM to the team. It involves from the PM to the community, from the PM to the investors, and even from the PM to external partners, people that you liaise with for PR, marketing, etc. Because the job of a product manager is cross functional. You work with everybody, you work with multiple teams, bringing everybody's A game on to create something wonderful. So in stakeholder collaboration, cross-functional collaboration is really important. It means that you have to work with everyone on the team. You have to be able to bring the best out of everyone on the team. You have to understand what codes the developers are going to be interacting with, so you can understand and empathize with them, or even speed them up when and when necessary. You have to understand the user interface that the designer would be working on. You have to also understand the point of view of the token economist. The fact that you would not be interacting with codes does not mean that you should not actually be able to put yourself in the shoes of these people that you'll be working with on your team. You have to also understand your community manager, because they are interacting with the community, collecting feedback for you in real time. So it's really, really, really important that you can engage them. Decentralized decision making is made collaboratively. It involves the team, it involves feedback gotten from the community voting. So in a DAO, token holders or users can stake tokens and they would vote. So now token holders will get more, they'll get more attention because they are investing in the project and their opinion counts, because their money counts, their money is in the project, and you would want to do whatever is necessary to make sure that they feel like their opinion is heard and they can feel like they can trust the project and keep investing their money. Also, you must ensure alignment to the vision and objective of the project at every point in time. The clear product vision and shared objective would ensure that you make everyone work towards the same goal, with you acting as the central point of alignment. You are like the ruler that makes everything straight. So collaboration must be managed by you, as well as fixing issues between team members. I promise you that your members would have, they would have brawls, there would be clashes, there would be emotional back and forths, but the product manager can help solve these problems by being emotionally intelligent, by being present, by being able to bring everyone together to achieve the goal and achieve it on time. Transparency is very important in the development. So you must maintain open channels of communication with all the stakeholders. You must provide regular updates explaining the product development progress and explaining how decisions are made, so that it builds trust. It builds trust. It gives you the image of someone who is integral. They trust you more because you give feedback and you keep them in the loop. So, tools that encourage transparency are Notion. From using Notion, you can carry every member on the team along. You can even go as far as tagging them to tasks that they need to get done. Slack is a very good tool for encouraging transparency also. Another tool that Web3 builders and Web3 users are conversant with using is Discord and Telegram. So you can use Discord and Telegram for informal communication with community. You can use Discord and Telegram for bans. You can use Discord and Telegram to even work with your teammates formally. So these things are very important as well. So can everyone still hear me?
Yes, mom, can hear you.
Okay. So moving on, we'll discuss best practices for effective stakeholder communication in Web3. So, firstly, a very good best practice for effective stakeholder collaboration is facilitating open communication. So, you want to encourage regular meetings with not just your team, but with external team members, people who you work with outside of people you are monitoring on your team. You have to have transparent documentation. Your PRD has to be up to date. That's your product requirement document. It has to be up to date. It has to carry necessary information of everything that you are working on with your team. So Discord, Telegram should be used to keep everyone up to date. This is what we are doing, this is what we are changing, this is what we got, this is what we have to fix. So everyone is flowing, everyone is moving along. So governance models should be used to allow token holders or community members actively participate in key decisions. So you ensure that community input is respected and they feel like it is respected. Also maintain feedback in planning so that you can make changes when and where necessary. You also need to bring all stakeholders together early on to understand the product's mission and vision so that you can track progress properly. A, a challenge in stakeholder collaboration in Web3 is decentralized authority. So decentralized authority in the sense that, in Web3, authority is shared among the community and stakeholders. It can make decision making slower and more complex for you because, yeah, you cannot just decide to, you know, make things faster when you've not gotten feedback. So as the PM, you have to navigate decentralization and keep everything aligned. Another problem is disjointed communication. When you have a certain platform for communicating with the community. You have another platform for speaking to different stakeholders, people on your team, people outside your team, the people you are working for. It makes communication very fragmented and it can make you confused. So you must actually ensure that there is a centralized communication structure that keeps everyone updated and aligned. Now, when I say centralized communication structure, let me give an example. You see on Discord, you find different channels. You can make it such that your stakeholders are on the same Discord server, but the channels for each category of stakeholders that you work with can be locked. So this just helps you build organization. So you would know where where to put all your energy in. Not that you go to Slack, come back to Trello, from Trello, you go back to Discord, you're going back to Telegram. It's going to burn you out and make you disorganized. And you might even drop the wrong charts in these places. Can everyone see my screen? Sorry, I think coming.
Yes, now I can see.
All right, awesome. So another difficulty that you would have to work on is varying interests in stakeholder management. Just the way you have the interest of taking everybody along and making sure that a certain goal is met, your developer can decide to prioritize technical scalability over what your community members want. So at this point in time where your team members are having different interests and trying to solve these interests or satisfy these interests with different methods, you have to actually bring everybody together so you can touch base and discuss how the project would move forward. So everybody has to be directed to the vision and mission of the project so that things can go well and things can go according to plan. And we know that everything is not perfect, but it must actually be close to the perfection that you imagined or the perfection that you organize. So security concerns are also very very much valid in building Web3 projects. So when you are collaborating with stakeholders, especially your developers and token economists, you want to ensure that security protocols are built into the project from the outset. Don't let them build the security protocols later and let them start so that you can prevent hacks, you can prevent forks being created. A fork is another network being created from a Web3 network. So it can be used to, you know to scam the project or even ruin the project or hack it. So it's really really important that they build these security protocols right in time, and it would actually help you focus on what you need to do. So does everyone understand what I've said so far? Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma, I understand what you've said so far.
I just
Okay.
have a question. Like, ma, please, what's the spelling of the gyra?
JIRA.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let me continue now. You can drop questions in the chat box. I think after this class I can take you to Google or just walk you around Google and show you what a Jira roadmap looks like, so you can see it in real time and just interact with it. But I want everybody to, like, I think I already gave the assignment in the middle of the class, so I want everybody to interact with Jira, interact with Notion, interact with Trello, and you see the best ones that you can work with. So now we're going to talk about metrics. So for metrics, I would focus on chain metrics and user retention. So metrics tell the story of whether your product is working or not. So in Web3, we like to look at on-chain data and off-chain data. Metrics are very essential to track the success and health of your products. It's just like checking your temperature. When your temperature is high, something is up. When your temperature is low, something is also up. And when your temperature is optimum, you know that you are fine. So metrics in Web3 products development is really important, because that's how you know if you are doing something good or if something has to change. Now, since Web3 is decentralized and heavily reliant on blockchain technology, on-chain metrics means data related to the blockchain activity, and user retention metrics, meaning data about how users interact with your product over time, are key indicators of product performance, growth, and user engagement. Now, these metrics will not only help you as a product manager, but they would help your developers, they would help your community managers make very informed decisions and understand what they need to do better building the project. The first on-chain metrics I will talk about is the total value locked. So the total value locked is the total value of assets that are locked within a specific protocol or a project. Now, it gives you insight into the amount of capital flowing into the platform. So you would actually understand that it matters because users would have users would have great confidence when the total value locked is increasing. So if the total value locked is not increasing, people would not want to invest in the project. So this is why it's really, really important that the total value locked is high, increasing, or even at a good place. Now you can measure total value locked and track it with DeFi Llama or DeFi Pulse. These platforms help you aggregate total value locked data across different protocols and chains in Web3 technology. Next is wallet activity. Wallet activity measures the number and frequency of transactions that users perform within a product. So, sending transactions, interacting with smart contracts, staking tokens, or participating in governance, they are measured by wallet activity. So active wallets indicates that the product is very relevant and very usable and can actually satisfy the users. You see that many users actually check if the project can interact with different blockchain protocols. You see some people ask, oh, is it Solana based? What do I need to use? Do I need to use Phantom? Can I use my MetaMask? Can I use my Trust wallet? So the the more wallets the product or project can interact with, the more interesting it is to work with it. So imagine working on a project that only uses one wallet. You will be tired because wallets might not even work the same way in different regions. So people will just get tired and will not actually use it. So you can track wallet activity by using blockchain explorers. So the best blockchain explorer for tracking is Etherscan. Etherscan is very, very fast and is used by majority of people in Web3. So you can also use Polygon Scan, you can use Dune Analytics or Token Terminal. These platforms will provide you real-time on-chain analytics, including transaction frequency. They'll show you active wallets and many more information that you would require. Now, transaction frequency is a metric that shows how users are transacting on the platform, whether they're executing trades, whether they are staking tokens or even performing various on-chain transactions. So high transaction frequency means that users find the product engaging and valuable, and it means that your product is getting long-term engagement from the users. You can track this using Dune Analytics again, or using the graph. This would help you aggregate transaction for the given blockchain or smart contract. Another very important on-chain metric is the gas fee or transaction costs. So gas fees are fees paid by users to execute transactions that are interacted with smart contracts. So gas fees are like the transaction fees that your bank charges you. Like when you deposit 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, that 15 naira, that 20 naira, that 100 naira that your bank takes, they are like gas fees. So yeah, when you make any transaction happen on the blockchain system, some certain amount of tokens are taken so that they can give it to miners. Now, these miners are the people working on the blockchain system to make sure that the transactions move smoothly. So that small fee, or the small fees that are reducted or deducted rather from your from your transactions, are used to incentivize these miners so that they can keep working and keep having the resources to help the blockchain system run smoothly. So transaction cost metrics, it tracks the volume of the average cost of these fees. If your gas fee is too high, or the gas for your project is too high, people will not interact with it because everybody wants to save their money and save their time. So high gas fees will make the product unaffordable and unattractive to users. So tracking this will help you as the product manager optimize the user experience and understand if the high fees are a barrier for the users, or something that makes them back off from using your project or products rather. So you can track gas fees data by using Etherscan or Gas Now. So Gas Now, Etherscan can be used to track how much gas fees are spent on projects. So user retention metrics help you track how well your product maintains user interest over time. So users are incentivized in Web3 by token rewards. Some are incentivized by giveaways on social media platforms, or any other method necessary to encourage long-term engagement. So one key user retention metric is user retention rate. That's a key metric you have to pay attention to when you are building the product or working on it. So this is important because the user retention rate is an indicator that your users are finding value in your product. So low retention rates, it signals issue with the product value, usability, and effectiveness of the methods that you are applying. So it's very, very important that you can measure this. You can use Google Analytics to track user engagement over time, or check the back end of your project. Another metrics, or the next metric I talk about, is active users. You have to know your daily active users, your weekly active users, and your monthly active users, because they help you measure how many unique users interact with your product over time. So you would need to know how many people are viewing your website, or not even your website, are interacting with your product from time to time. And you have to track this weekly, you have to track this monthly, even yearly. Really, really important. The next metric I'll talk about is churn rate. The churn rate is the percentage of users who stop interacting with your product within a specific time frame. It is the inverse of the retention rate. So high churn rate means that your users are dissatisfied and the product does not deliver on its promises. So when you are faced with this kind of situation, you have to understand what is going wrong, what needs to be changed, and what you need to address fast so that you don't lose users, or so that you can gain back the users that you have lost. The next metric I'll talk about is user engagement. The user engagement metric tracks the level of interaction that your users have with your product. So here you measure time spent on the products, number of transactions that they are making, and you can even go as far as seeing the kind of activities that they participate in. This would help you understand how deeply engaged they are in your project beyond visiting and just making a transaction. This is how you can even measure the real users of your project. Now, next, you want to measure the proposal participation. DAO governance is really important in Web3. You would know your active users by how much they participate in governance. So high participation in governance means that your community is very strong and engaged, and they feel like they have a say in the project that you are working on or in the product that you are releasing. So this is really, really important, because lack of participation suggests that they are not interested and they don't want to engage with your project. So tools for tracking these metrics. The first two, I think I've mentioned Dune Analytics before. Dune Analytics will help you track on-chain data like total value locked, transaction volume, wallet activity. You can try using Flipside Crypto. It will give you analytics into tracking on-chain data as well. A very, very interesting tool that I think everybody should learn how to use is CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. They are very easy to use. You can even gather diamonds and candies there casually every day. So CoinMarketCap can even, make you feel like you are a pro even when you are not even a pro, because it makes you set a reminder for when a certain cryptocurrency that you like, or certain token that you like, hits a certain high or hits a certain low. So you just need to explore these apps so that you can see how they work and how to interact with them. Also, explore using Etherscan and Polygon Scan so you can see transactions, you can see gas fees and wallet activity in real time. Then check out snapshots to track governance participation and proposal engagement. So this brings me to the end of my class today. I've given an assignment and I said you should interact with Notion, Trello, and Jira. Create a Fox, FAUX, a Fox roadmap. Create a PRD, then tailor the roadmap. Create sprints, and you can give feedback on your work so that you can get better at it. I would be taking questions now, or suggestions, or if you just want to discuss anything, I would be listening. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Hi, Divine. Good evening.
Okay, um, ma, please can you explain the smart contract? I want to know how it works.
Okay, I'll explain to you now. What don't you understand about smart contracts? Or let me know what I explained that you want to know.
Okay, so from what I heard that smart contract is like an agreement. I don't know. That's what I heard. Like an agreement you sign. I don't know. I didn't really get it.
When
Hello, ma.
you when you want to cook, what do you need to do?
Ma?
When you want to cook, what do you need to do first?
I'll get everything ready.
Okay. So now if you get everything ready and there's no gas, can you do anything?
No ma.
Or if there's gas and you don't have a pot, can you do anything?
No ma.
Or if there's gas and there's pots and you don't have Maggi, can you cook?
Yes ma.
You can cook without Maggi.
You can, you can use salt. We can use salt.
What if there's no Maggi and there's no salt and there's no curry and there's no thyme?
We can cook.
Okay, so let me now explain so that you can understand. So a smart contract is a certain program. It is not written by the product manager, it's written by the Web3 developer. So the smart contract, it executes specific actions in the code when certain conditions are met. So if the program does not meet some certain conditions, the smart contract will not run. So that's why I asked that, okay, when you have gas, when you have pots, and you don't have Maggi or salt or curry, will you be able to cook?
Hello
No.
ma.
So the smart contract is like that. If certain conditions are not met, it will not work. Nothing would work. It will not run. Right. But if these certain conditions are met, there's everything necessary for this to go on. It will actually work. So how
Okay.
this is how this is how Web3 projects work. There are a set of codes that are written, they've programmed it just so that there is no back and forth. There's no need to go here, go there. They can just focus their energy on iteration. That's editing the project, making sure that the project is working well, making sure that users are being satisfied instead of going to write codes from the scratch. It's stressful when they want to integrate something and they have to start writing codes from the scratch every day, every day, every day. So the smart contract is a structure. They just designed it that, okay, oh, I'm going to work on this set of programs. If these conditions are met, let's say a condition that can be met like, okay, does this user have a wallet? One condition. Is there Ethereum in the wallet, or maybe they want Solana? Is there Solana in the wallet? Yes, there's Solana. Okay, is their network good? Yes, the network is good. When they run the transaction, it runs because a smart contract is responsible for making that transaction work. Now, if there is no Solana or the certain um the certain token that is necessary to make the transaction work, nothing is going to work because according to the program that the developer wrote, those things are very necessary. So even if one does not work, nothing is going to work. So do you understand now, or do you want me to explain further?
Yes ma. I understand ma.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so ma, hello, can you hear me ma?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so ma, when is the deadline for the assignment?
mm, okay, I can give you till Friday. Friday is a good time to
This
play around.
Friday.
Yes.
Ma,
Eh?
my Friday is close.
How is it close?
Ma, let's submit it next week Monday. This time next week Monday, or
No,
before your next class.
no.
Okay. Okay,
Do you,
ma.
have you ever worked on a PRD?
Yes, ma.
It's not hard now. If you have worked on a PRD, just go and roadmap it. Friday, Joe.
No, ma, because I have other commitment, so that's why I told you to move it to Monday.
Friday, don't worry. You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay, ma. I'll
Ma,
try my
please.
best. Ma, so it's only PRD and sprint.
Yes, the sprint is necessary for the road
Hello,
mapping.
ma.
Yes, can you hear me? Are you there? Can
Okay.
you hear me?
So, ma, okay, yeah, I can hear you, ma.
Okay. So this, don't confuse yourself. Oh. The sprint is related to agile. Agile is a methodology for creating roadmaps. So sprint
Okay.
is Sprint is 1 to 2 weeks in agile. That's what sprint means. 1 to 2 weeks. It's just timeline, right? 1 to 2 weeks to get a project done. So when you're talking about road mapping, if you are using agile, you have to tailor your sprints to 1 to 2 weeks. It means that everything that you work on must be done in 1 to 2 weeks, right? Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay, after this
Yes.
class, I'll
Yes,
encourage you
ma.
to read articles. Just read articles. If you go to Atlassian, Atlaissan, Atlassian, they're the founders of Jira. So they have resources on how to use Jira, why it is necessary to understand Agile, why product managers use Agile methodologies. You find a lot of
Um,
resources, right?
okay, ma,
So
I've
just
used Jira. I've
okay,
used Jira. I'm conversant with it, Jira
eh,
and Notion. So
okay.
okay, ma, so you say the PRD. Are we supposed to come up with an idea?
Yes,
Uh,
yes. For product requirement documents, you work on an idea, you create a vision for it, you create a mission for it, you work on the technical requirements, what the teammates are
Okay.
supposed to do, the timeline for the project, everything that is very, very
o-
necessary. Then you then
Okay, ma.
create the roadmap. So the roadmap is just a summary of who is
Okay,
doing
so
it, when is this going to be submitted, what is this person supposed to do. So everybody is accountable. Everybody knows that. It's just like when you have. Did you go to did you go to like this regular secondary school in Nigeria where there's like roster for who is supposed to sweep the floor today, who is supposed to sweep the floor
yes,
tomorrow,
ma.
who is supposed to clean the board. So the roadmap is like that.
Mm.
Yes, the roadmap is just like that. Exactly.
Okay, ma.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so
So
much, ma.
yes, you are very much welcome.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, ma. I want to say something.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to commend you for the incredible class. Class was really very insightful and very profound.
Thank
So
you so much.
that's what I have to say. Yes, thank you, ma.
Thank you so much for the feedback.
Okay.
Welcome.
So, ma, how do we submit the assignments?
I think you can submit on my LinkedIn. When you're done, just submit on my LinkedIn.
How's your LinkedIn?
The same name, Yano Ayolajide.
Ayona Dide. Ayo.
Yanu Ayo.
Sorry, ma.
Let me just let me look
Ma.
for the link for you. Don't worry.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. I'll paste the link in the chat box. So.
Mm.
Is there any other question?
Elma, can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can. I'm here.
Okay, I
I'm
have
trying
a
to
question. I have a question for Miss Victoria.
okay.
Okay, so I'm having trouble filling the attendance form. So
Okay, I'm not sure that she can hear you.
okay.
Maybe you should copy the link and put it on another browser. Or just copy the link. This is my LinkedIn account.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma.
Yes, you are most welcome. Does anyone have questions? Hi, Gifts, do you have a question? So we can call it a night. All right. So I've not gotten any questions so far. I would end the call in some minutes. I would expect submissions via my LinkedIn so I can give corrections. Thank you so much for the opportunity today. It was a pleasure speaking with you guys. I'm very happy that I was able to show up. Thank you so much for listening and well done.
Thank you, Ma. Have a
Yes,
good night rest, Ma.
yes. Good night, Divine. Good night, everybody.
Yes, Ma.
Yes, bye
Thank you
bye.
so much, Yana. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.